Welcome to the How to Connect with Your Loved One Who Has Passed Micro Summit. I am your host, Amanda Lynne, and I'm bringing to you an arrangement of speakers who can share their insight and knowing on this really important and beautiful question. Today's guest is Sharon Farber. Sharon is a medium and she also conducts classes about how to become a medium. She is the author of the book Choosing to be a Medium. There it is there. Thank you, Sharon. And she's also got a companion journal that goes with that book. Good. For those of you that don't like listening or you don't like reading, there's the listening version, and vice versa if you want to read the book. Sharon's material is really great because there's lots of insight on how we can connect to a loved one who has passed, whether we do or don't want to become a medium. There's so much here for Sharon to share with us. Sharon, welcome.
Thank you so much for having me, Amanda. It's a pleasure to be here.
Thank you so much for coming. Sharon, you weren't always a medium. How did you get into it?
I have been a massage therapist and healer for 31 years. And then about 10, 12 years ago, somebody invited me to a mediumship demonstration in a home. I went. I just had no major interest in it. I just thought, sure, that sounds like fun. And I went, and this amazing medium connected with my close friend, my firstborn dog, and I watched her give beautiful readings to everybody else in our small group. And I thought, that's amazing and healing and wonderful. And that inspired me. I invited her to come to my massage center. So she came once a month for about the next year and gave small group readings to 6 to 8 people. And I got to be there for each one. So I got to get a few more connections, and I got to watch the wonderful healing that people experienced when this medium was able to connect with their loved ones. So it really got me thinking. She got too busy and wasn't able to come there anymore. And I had an experience with a massage client who had lost his daughter at age 11 from a ruptured appendicitis in a hospital. And that made me think about this. And he had chest pain a year later. He was having a massage, and he had told me about the chest pain, and then I found out about the daughter. And that just made me think, if this man, if he and his wife could see a good medium, and the medium could connect with the daughter, and it would just bring them so much healing and closure. They would grieve forever, but healing and closure, she would communicate somehow how there was nothing they could do. They shouldn't feel guilty. They did nothing wrong, how much he loves them. And I just knew that that would be a wonderful thing. And that at that point, like 10, 12 years ago, there weren't that many mediums. Now it's a little more common. So that got me thinking, it's like, I wish I could do that. I would like to do that kind of healing work. And that's when about 100 people told me, I didn't think you could learn to be a medium. I thought you had to be born that way. And since then, it's been hundreds of people. And I thought, well, I'll find out. So I read books, took workshops, classes, did exercises, and I made my first connection to a massage client's father in spirit. I got information about him, and she was very happy, but not as happy as I was. I was literally jumping up and down because I did it. And that was my epiphany, like, I can do it. And after that, which was about 8 or 9 years ago, I jumped in passionately. I went to a college in England for a week-long course 3 different times. I've taken many classes in the United States. And what else did I do? I did 118 free practice readings to develop. And I started a mediumship circle, a development circle, because I couldn't find one. So I've been running a circle for 8 years so that I could sit with other mediums and develop. And I took it from there. And then somewhere along the way, I started charging for them because I'd been doing it for years, and that's how it started.
Well, you must have brought so much hope and connection and love to so many people in what you've learned to do. And
I
that's a
believe,
really special part.
well, part of it, yes, when you do connect with somebody's loved ones in spirit and it helps bring them peace, closure. They get to learn that their loved one in spirit is still alive and well, that they're not gone forever, that they're aware of our lives. So that's part of it. Sometimes the loved ones will share that they know that you've had a baby, they were at the wedding, they're aware of what you're going on with. So that's truly a beautiful healing experience for people. And so I do that, but what I'm doing now more is teaching other mediums. So if I give readings, I might give readings for 100 people in a year. But right now I'm working with 100, actually literally student mediums at different levels helping to do this. And then they're going to go out and touch all these lives by connecting with their loved ones. So I feel that my niche is the teaching, especially with beginners, and especially teaching it to people who are like, oh, I didn't think you could learn to do this. Can I learn? Can I learn to do this? And I say, well, if I can do it, you probably can.
Yeah,
So
what a
that's
great
my
message.
pitch.
That's
That's
great. And I was really lucky to be invited as a guest to one of your classes. And I must say, it was lovely. I arrived with an expectation, I must say, that I might connect with my beautiful friend Margie, who's just passed. But my grandmother came through and it was a healing message. But what I discovered in that first experience for me was the absolute accuracy. And that the students that you had have been so developed and really honing in on their skills to connect and read the signs and look at the messages and be able to interpret them. There was so much comfort just in that moment. And I do thank you for letting me be your guest.
Oh, it was wonderful having you there. You're saying they're so developed. They weren't always like that. And it's amazing how quickly some of these people are developing. I know at least one of them there, I'm pretty sure. I started off with him a few months ago and I had to give him his own little guided meditation to get a link. And now it's every week, it's like boom, boom, boom. The
Wow.
development, and it's just amazing and wonderful to watch
That's
as
great.
they get better and better. And some of the circles are a little interesting. Sometimes there's confusion, but overall it's evidence. That's what this is all about. Evidential mediumship is where you get enough information so that you know it's really your loved one in spirit. It's not like, I got a tall dark man here, and does anybody have somebody with the name David in spirit? It's personalities, memories, specific information that somebody's going to recognize about their loved one in spirit.
That's a really important part of it. And you did touch a little bit before on the meditating. Part of the things that we're learning in this micro summit is that to connect with our loved one, it is about raising our vibration into a place where there is a love energy and a love connection. And it's pretty important that we do that. It was also about setting an intention. Are you able to share some of your knowledge on that, please?
Yes. We are embodied. We are spirits, just like our friends in spirit. We are spirits, but we still happen to have our bodies. They're unembodied, they're in spirit, and they're at a higher vibration. They're just lighter, there's less effort. So when we connect with them, we have to raise our vibration, and they lower their vibration to connect with us. And they are using their intention and their energy in order to connect with us. We are not summoning them. They want to talk to us just as much as we want to talk to them. So when raising your vibration, what it basically means is being happy, being joyful, being upbeat, And ways to get there are through laughter, prayer, fun, love. What you want to do is take care of yourself and focus on bringing yourself joy, connection, love. Music is a great way. Music, laughter. I said laughter, but it's really one of the best ways. It could be singing, it could be dance. So when people lose a loved one, they tend to be sad because they're grieving. And if you're grieving and really unhappy, it's more difficult. It does make it more challenging to be in that open, loving vibration to be able to connect with the loved one. So it's individual, but things that make you happy, whether it is some kind of prayer, exercise, music, dance, it's things that uplift you, and it's surrounding you with people who make you feel good, and it's putting that intention. And the thing is, your loved ones in spirit want you to be happy. Some people have this idea that they need to grieve for a certain amount of time. And if they accidentally crack a smile or laugh, and it's only been a week or 2 weeks, they feel like, oh no, I laughed. Your loved ones in spirit want you to be happy. They're in a wonderful place. Every single one of the people in the spirit world are in a healing, supportive place, regardless of how they passed. I know you didn't ask this, but
Oh, no, it's important. I think it's great. Keep going.
No matter how people pass, whether it's sudden, unexpected, whether they take their own life, whether there are people here who aren't ready for them to leave, where they have unfinished business, regardless of any of that, any of these myths about people getting stuck somewhere or not going to a healing, wonderful spirit world are just myths. So your people, even if they were young, happy in the middle of a beautiful life, they are in a healing, supportive spirit world, continuing the evolution of their soul. And what they want for you is for you to be happy. They don't want people to feel guilt, miserable, misery and pain. So it works both ways. You're going to raise your vibration to be able to connect with them better. And at the same time, you're doing what's good for you and what they want for you anyway.
That makes a lot of sense. And is part of that where the meditation fits in as well, Sharon?
You don't need to meditate per se, but you need to be able to quiet your mind a little bit. If you're running around like crazy and you have your mind and life filled with mundane life things, including worries, thoughts, and possibly chaos and all the things you need to do, it's going to be more difficult to pick up a subtle connection, because the connections, even when we're doing evidential mediumship and you're a trained medium, you need to quiet your mind, use your intention, and it's more subtle than us having a conversation. So for people who want to connect with their own loved ones, you can call it meditation, but some people are afraid of the word. I find meditating really challenging. I find I fall asleep and it's just hard to make myself do it, even now. Mediums have something called sitting in the power, which is a type of meditation, but instead of clearing our minds, we're connecting with spirit guides and infinite spirit to boost our spiritual connection, to better be able to do that. What is necessary is to be able to quiet your mind. So if it's meditating, just taking that time to breathe, follow your breath, but you can also do it by taking a walk in the woods. You can do it by focusing on anything that you're doing. If you're doing something, instead of letting your mind wander, focus on what you're doing. It's about being present, being in the moment. And so it's not so much about meditation. It's about being uplifted and raising your vibration and being in a good place and setting your intention. Do you want to talk about setting?
Yes, please. Tell us more about that.
For mediumship, when I'm teaching people how to connect with spirit, and when I'm doing it, we set our intention. We ask for help from the spirit world, spirit helpers, and we ask for help, and infinite spirit creator, God, however you want to call that. And we ask for help. So what I do is ask for help to get a strong, clear connection to a significant, recognizable loved one in spirit for the person I'm reading for. So that's the intention. And then the person having the reading will be receptive, and I will invite a spirit person to join me. And then I will tell the spirit, then I will tell the sitter. A sitter is the person getting a reading, all about the spirit person. And if all goes well, they're going to be, yes, yes, oh my God. And there might be some tears and emotion. However, when you're connecting with your own spirit people, it's a little different.
Go on.
The focus with evidential mediumship, where a medium is going to connect with somebody else's loved one, the focus is on evidence. The focus is on bringing through proof that I am with your loved one by telling you about their personality, their favorite book, their habits, the fact that they were missing part of a limb, whatever it is that's going to let you know that it's your loved one. When you're connecting with your own loved one, it's a whole different intention, focus, and energy. It's not about proof, it's about trust. It's about knowing and trust. I can tell you that your loved ones are with you because I've been doing this for 8 years now. That might not be 20 or 30, but when I read for people, I know that their loved ones are with them. They love them, they're supporting them. Sometimes they're like trying to shout out them and not being heard to be acknowledged. So I know that your loved ones in spirit are with you. So with evidential mediumship as a medium, it's all about evidence and proving that I'm connecting with your loved one in spirit. When you're connecting with your own loved ones, it's all about trust. It's all about knowing that your loved ones are with you. I know that your loved ones are with you because I've done hundreds of readings. And when I give a reading to a person, their loved ones are there. Sometimes the loved ones will give information so that they prove that they're part of the person's life. And sometimes the people already know that they're there. So I know that your loved ones are with you. So the whole intention is for you to trust and know that they're there, to talk to them. Talk to them. It might be, some people need a medium to be able to get clear messages and information from your loved one in spirit, but you can talk to your own loved ones and they're going to hear you. They're going to feel you. So my suggestion is that you engage, you trust, you know that they're there, you engage with them. And when you do things that you know that they liked, when you're in the garden that they loved, when you go to the beach, if the beach was a special place for you and your spirit person, when you cook in the kitchen, if that's how you connect. So when you are doing activities or are in places where you connect with the person in spirit, talk to them even more, acknowledge them, chat with them. And then what you want to do is be receptive. Don't be demanding and don't be the stump the skeptic, prove you're here. Instead, be open, trusting, knowing. You might hear a song that is important to them. You're thinking about them, you have a little tear coming down. The song comes on that's really important to them. And some people, often people will smell them. I know a number of women who smell the cigarettes that their father smoked. They're somewhere, there's no smoke, and they'll smell a cigarette and know their father's there. There are people will smell their loved one's perfume. Someone will, so then you can have little animals that were important to them. If you see a bunny, maybe they had a special attachments to a bunny, the bunny comes, you know it's them. You can have your own, just trust. And the more you trust, the more you engage with them, the more often it's likely to happen. And the more you'll know that this is really happening.
So these are more like some of the signs our loved ones give us then, aren't they? Like if we trust, so if we raise our vibration into a place of this higher energy, such as the listening to the music, meditating if that's how you do it, maybe doing a bit of exercise or having a laugh, a joke, something that just raises that vibration, and then be receptive by trusting what you're getting. And then the signs start to come, which is what you're starting to share now. So,
Mhm.
what other sort of signs might we see?
Okay, and also the signs can come anyway. A lot of people don't make any effort whatsoever, and they're going to see pennies or dimes if that was a thing. There can be feathers, cardinals, dragonflies, butterflies. Someone was telling me recently they have a loved one in spirit. There was something significant about a dragonfly. Dragonfly flew into their car. I mean, dragonflies are outside by water and lakes and ponds. So you're going to see them there. The dragonfly flew into the car, landed on the person, and then stayed there. So,
Wow.
and so it's signs that are used by many people, like the feathers and the pennies, and then there's music, and then there's whatever's special for you and that person. Someone was telling me how it's like a 1957 pickup truck or something. If they see this, they're thinking about their father, and then they see this old truck goes by, that's her message. So it doesn't have to be a feather, it has to be whatever it is that connects you to that person. And then you trust and know that that's a message for them. And then there'll be more of them.
That's beautiful. And with some of your students, like they would be getting different signs when they're doing their readings as well. So that's making a lot of sense now to what I saw in the class the other day with different signs that people were bringing through that were, as you say, like very much a part of that person so that you can identify that even if you're not a medium, that, oh, that is that because that person liked a bunny or they liked the dragonflies.
Right. Usually, when it's mediums, whether it's students or professionals giving the readings, it's more about specific evidence as opposed to a sign. It's concrete things. I'm seeing somebody and he's got a briefcase and he worked in an office and he was,
Right.
so it's things. So I would just call that more evidence. The thing is, when you're connecting with your own person, it's hard to get evidence because you know about them. The way mediumship works, when you've got the medium and the sitter and the spirit person, the medium, for example, I tell you about your person in spirit, and I tell you things I couldn't possibly know. And that's how you know that I'm with your spirit person. But when you're connecting with your own people, it's hard to get evidence because you know what they look like and what they did. So people, it's not as clear cut because you might be just thinking about them.
Right.
So that's
Makes
where little
sense.
signs come in, signs, reassurance, coincidences, which aren't really coincidence, is special things. Also, sometimes lights flicker on and off. My friend Ed, he's in my book. He's come through a medium. He's come through a dozen different mediums for me, at least, including my students. The last time I was on the phone with a medium friend of mine, and she told me, she's like, "Are you baking bread?" And I said, "Well, yeah, but I haven't baked bread in months. But yes, I just had 2 loaves today." And he's like, "Well, Ed's here with me, and he's telling you that's good." I don't want to say it. That's good stuff, but he didn't say that. And so she had to give me the proof that Ed was telling her that I was baking bread, instead of just saying, Ed's here again. But I don't see Ed. I can think about him, visualize him, but I have yet to have him tell me something directly. So even though I'm a medium, I don't have concrete proof that he's with me often. Well, okay, I was going to say something else. It's more of I've had him and my father and pretty much all of my other loved ones come through so often with other mediums and students so that I know they're there. But I don't get evidence from them, from myself, because I don't even know how I would do that. It was really cool. I was working on writing the book, and I had a person helping me edit, and we sit together on the computer. I have the keyboard, she has the mouse, or the other way around. I don't remember. This was like 5 years ago. Anyway, we're working on stuff about Ed. All of a sudden, the mouse goes crazy. We're not doing anything, and the mouse just does this bizarre thing. So Ed's into computers and electronics and things. So we're doing this, and both of us are here together watching it do this really weird thing. And it only did it while we were writing about him.
Wow.
So that's a sign, and I would call that evidence. But for your own people, you can't prove things to yourself. So that's where instead it's about the trust, it's about the love. Love them, continue to love them, send them love, and they're sending you love. If you continue in the love, you're because the love never dies. That might sound like a cliche, but it's true. Continue to love them and let you love them, and you might even feel that. And then when you see something that might be a sign, whether it's a cardinal, a dragonfly, whatever it is, say, hey, to your person. You may say it out loud in your head, and you might feel this warm, loving sensation. Some people tell me they feel a tingling in their heart. Some people say they can tell because they just feel warmth. You might get goosebumps. That's another, I'm glad I remembered that. So sometimes when you're connecting with your loved one, and as a sign, it might be the goosebumps or just warm feelings and the love. So it's a lot about trust and knowing and believing and being open to it and loving them. Send them love, they'll send you love. It's just they're in a different place.
That's beautiful. And I suppose as you start to, like, if you're beginning to try to make that connection as a person that's just lost a loved one and you're starting to build the established connection, I suppose those body sensations become more noticeable and you start to become, that's the language of your person's connecting with you. Is that right? Or
it can be. So here's the thing. Some people might feel goosebumps. Some people might feel that, but some people won't feel anything. So if we put it out there that when you're connecting with your spirit friend, your loved one in spirit, you're going to feel this, all the people that don't feel this are going to think, oh, I'm not connecting. So it's a very individual thing. You may feel a warmth. You may feel tingling or goosebumps. You may feel nothing. You may feel doubt and your sadness and think, I can't do this, and I'm not getting this and that. I'm not getting anything, bells and whistles. So it's better not to have a specific expectation. It's more simple than that. Love them and know that they're loving you. Love them the same way you loved them when they were living, or you would love somebody else who's living. You love with your heart, with your thoughts, with your energy. So pour out that love to them and be receptive to getting it back. If you have some kind of tinglings